Welcome to the DeepBlu podcast, episode 103. I am Dalton with DeepBlu Entertainment.
I'm Jimmy with DeepBlu Entertainment.
And today we're going to touch on some more questions that we've gotten, a lot of frequently asked questions that we've gotten from wedding parties. First one I've got for today is, what is included in the price of our event?
What is included in the price of our event? Okay, well that depends on what you want. And you'll notice that if you send a request, I'm always going to send the same email back. Where is it, if we don't have the information? Where is it? How many hours? What are you looking for? We need to know exactly what specifics you want in the in your package. So that's going to vary. I mean, it's going to be different from person to person. I mean, we have standard pricing, but it really just depends on where it is, how many hours, and all that kind of stuff. Your typical wedding reception is about 4 hours. Typical ceremony last with the prelude is about an hour, so a ceremony reception is 5 hours, so that'll be a certain price. And if it's somewhere in Arkansas, obviously it's going to be a different price. It's going to be more because of travel and things like that. So what's included in the reception package is a full sound system that can accommodate up to 600 people. Dance floor lighting, which, by the way, if you write in and say you don't want lighting, don't let it be because you don't want to pay for it, because we don't charge for it anyway. It's free.
Absolutely.
As far as we're concerned, you can have a party without lights. So you get a wireless microphone that we make announcements on, and you and your guests can make speeches and toasts and things like that. Backup equipment is always there. Actually, the systems, I'm glad you brought this up. The systems that we use are redundant systems, so it's not considered one sound system. It's actually two individual sound systems.
Right.
So if for some reason, thank goodness this has not happened yet, but if one of them dies, the other one can pick up the slack, so it's not a big deal. So the backup system for our sound systems is always running, always running. We bring backup mixers and things like that, but a lot of that is handled in the setup process. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, that's...
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. As we're setting up, we make sure that everything is hooked up correctly. If something goes wrong, we always have a backup. It doesn't, but if it did, we've always got some sort of way to make everything work. Now, one thing you didn't mention is if they have the ceremony package, it does include the lavalier mic, which we touched on in the last podcast. It has lavalier mic for the preacher. It's all great system. Everything works. We're always there early. We always make sure.
Especially you.
Yes, I like 3 hours of no time.
We really, really like good sound equipment.
Yes.
All the sound equipment we use it's really, I'm not bragging, I'm not going to get too technical, but over the years we've tried a lot of different stuff, and what we've ended up with is equipment that we really like, and it's because it works well. If something goes wrong with it, we don't have to talk to Congress about getting another sound system shipped in. They normally get it to us pretty quickly, so the quality of the sound equipment really means a lot to us. I mean, that's why it doesn't fail. The last time I think somebody had an issue was because a power supply went out, but that was corrected in like 15 seconds. So if we're ever down, Lord willing,
not long.
It's not long. It's a matter of seconds. The only time I can think of that it was ever down for a long time, and that was like 30 minutes, was because the power went out. But we didn't have anything to do with that.
Right. I think I've been in that situation, and they just randomly had a speaker there that we were able to use until the power came back on.
It was a battery-powered speaker?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It was at Spring Creek.
Oh, nice.
They were just like, yeah, no, I've got this thing.
Cool.
That thing was loud.
Whatever works.
Absolutely.
Until we can, come up with a power generator if the power goes out.
Oh, yeah.
But that's normally when the weather's really bad. It's never a venue's fault. It's always an act of God, so.
Always. Next question that we normally get is, how involved can we be in selecting the music for our event?
You want to answer that one?
You are 100% involved. Any music that you want, we ask you first. We will never just be like, this is what you get.
Yeah.
It is always, what do you want? Well, I kind of like this song. Well, then I'm going to play that song.
Song's going to get played. Another thing, and I talked to a client today, he asked me if they could submit a do not playlist, which we absolutely want you to submit a do not playlist. A list of songs that you like, but just as important is the songs that you don't like. And it could be anything. I mean, you might feel silly for putting Taylor Swift on your do not playlist, but she's popular and somebody's probably going to request it. So we need to know if you don't like Taylor Swift or Justin Bieber or whoever. We need to know that. Put that on your do not playlist so we don't play it.
That is usually the first question I ask.
The songs they don't like?
Before I ask for must plays, before I ask for, like, all right, maybe I can play this at the end of the night. What do you not want to hear?
Yeah. It's important. It is.
And it's usually Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber, occasionally group dances, but people are usually pretty lenient on those.
Blurred Lines.
Blurred Lines.
Do not playlist.
And I'm glad it's on the do not playlist. It's not.
How do you really feel?
It's not a great song, but
it's not the best.
Everything that you want, we will play.
Mm-hmm.
We will get anything that you want. If you say I need this song played because it was my mother and father's first dance song, I'm more than happy to do that.
Which that's really cool. I'm glad you brought that up. More people should do that.
Like, I've been actually asking people if they want to do that.
That's good. I've been doing it more lately, but yeah, it's cool. Bring in your mom and dad. Find out what song
that their grandparents dance to at their wedding.
Yeah.
And people are always, it's more often than not Elvis Presley.
One of the things that really brings, because you want to, the ceremony is about you. The reception is about your guests. So what better thing to do than to bring as many of your guests into the reception as you can, like your grandparents and parents and maybe your aunt and uncle that you're really close to. So bring in more people in your reception. Make them a part of the show. You know, make them feel special because they're special to you.
Absolutely.
So why not?
Here's a really good one. Have we performed at that venue? Have you performed at my venue that I've asked you to perform? Mind you, there are 117 wedding venues in the Memphis area.
There are that many? Wow.
Just within a 50-mile radius of our location.
That's insane. I didn't know we had that many venues. Which makes sense. If you think about it, wow. That's a lot.
It's a lot.
There's a good, well, you can answer this. There's a good chance.
There's a large chance we have been to the venue.
95% chance we've been to.
I'd give it more of a 98 because there's places that I'll see and go, I'm not sure if I've been there, and you're like, yeah, no, we've totally been there. It's right here behind this place. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, there are a lot of venues that we frequent more than others.
Mm-hmm.
That list, gosh, that one's, I can think of 30. Cedar Hall, Hartwood Hall, Spring Creek Ranch, Ansdale Mansion, the Peabody. I mean, they just on and on and on.
409. Hillwood. Bridges at Chrisley. I mean, we're at all of these places constantly.
So there's a good chance we've been to your venue before.
At least twice in the last week.
Right. Yeah. No, that's a good one. And I didn't know we had that many venues in town.
It's a lot. And I was very surprised by that myself. What kind of reviews and references do we have?
You can touch on that one. I have some points to make, but you go ahead.
Recently, we actually broke 200 5-star reviews on Wedding Wire alone.
We had nothing to do with that, by the way.
No.
That was all you guys.
That was all of our brides and their families just being amazing and going out of their way to make sure that people know just how great we are.
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
And our guys get them constantly.
Yeah. It seems like every other day I open up my email and there's another 5-star review, which is great. I mean, that makes us feel so good. Because we spend a lot of time, he and I especially, every single day we're in here working, every single day to make sure everything is perfect. And when we say perfect, we mean like attention to detail that would make most people nauseous. But Wedding Wire, The Knot, we have a lot of great reviews. We have reviews on Google. People are more inclined to write reviews on Wedding Wire because that's where a lot of people find us. But yeah, so far we're a 5-star review company, so I'm loving that.
And recently our Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, and Twitter have just been blowing up.
Yeah,
like crazy. I think we just found out we had a little over 100,000 followers on Pinterest alone. Active
followers.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Loving it.
Oh, I love it too. Plus, we've been updating with more and more stuff every day. We're coming up with new ideas every day to bring more of a social media presence, and people love that.
Yeah, and Dalton actually, since he heads up the social media, he's been finding a lot of cool hints, tips, tricks, design ideas and things like that. So
color palettes are huge right now.
Yeah,
people are eating those up. They absolutely. What's the color palette for this month? It's violet and blue.
Yeah.
It's just everything that you could possibly think of is all over the internet, and I make sure that it's all centralized to make sure that people can find something that interests them. Because I know I would have loved to have that kind of help when I was getting married.
Yeah, no doubt.
And just it's so much good stuff. Brides, wedding wire, deer pearl flowers is the one I've found recently that has a lot of really interesting decor ideas, like outdoor decor ideas that are phenomenal. Because a lot of people are getting married outside now and having their receptions outside. So they've got a lot of rustic stuff, a lot of outdoor games. Because people when they are at weddings, they'll play a game for a few minutes.
They like to do stuff. People like to do stuff.
Always.
What's next?
All right. What is our attire for a wedding? What do we wear to a wedding?
We always dress semi-formal. We always wear semi-formal attire unless we're told otherwise. A lot of times clients won't tell us what to wear. We just automatically wear a shirt and tie, and a suit, depending on the weather, obviously. But yeah, it's always semi-formal. I mean, I like to look nice. I like to wear a suit. So, so we try to dress. One time I was at the Balinese ballroom, and the security guy, did I tell you this story? The security guy, he asked me something about the wedding. Is there an after party or something? I'm like, I don't know, I'm just a DJ. And he was like, oh, I thought you were a groomsman, the way you're dressed. He said, you're the best looking DJ I've ever seen. I was like, that made me feel really good. It's like, okay, well, this is working. Nice.
We really do dress very well.
Image means a lot to us. We want to look good. We want to sound good. We want you to be proud, of hiring us. We go through a lot of trouble to make sure everything looks and sounds great. So yeah, semi-formal. That's the short answer to that question. Shirt, tie, suit, whatever. Sometimes if the event is outside or if it's like a small casual get-together, and I know that on the front end when they sign the contract, I'll say, is it okay if we go business casual? Not jeans, but, golf shirt, slacks, something like that. So
something along these lines with the polo.
Right.
Yeah. Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, I think we covered. Is that the last question for today?
That was the last question for today.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, thanks again for tuning in. This is Jimmy
and Dalton
with DeepBlu Entertainment, and we'll see you next time.